Hello, Internet. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Requisite episode, hang on, 181. This week brought to you by rice cakes. That's what I had for dinner.
Rice cakes. Do you like flavor? Neither do we.
Rice cakes, bland and uninteresting, like Dr. John Kellogg intended. I think it was John Kellogg. It was like the brother of the guy who invented Kellogg's cereal. Was like, he thought that if your cereal was too sexy, it would make you have.
Yeah, he didn't want teens having sex, so he was like, "Make the cereal bland."
This week brought to you by Cereal Facts.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are as far away from being sexy as possible, no, that's not true. I have to thank our sponsors first. Hang on.
I was about to say, watch that, sir.
No, speaking of sponsors who are very sexy, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games have sponsored this and all episodes of Delve Requisite. You can get a link to their websites by typing !CCG or !Little Dragon into chat. Little Dragon Corp is a Canadian-based dice company, so you can get all of your polyhedral dice needs fulfilled by their wonderful services. They guarantee you'll roll a nat 20, or they will feel bad about it. I had to stop myself from saying they'll give you your money back, because that is incorrect.
Yeah.
And something I'm not going to sign our sponsor up for. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick and mortar tabletop game, RPG, TCG game store located in Evans, Georgia. If you are not located in Evans, Georgia, fear not. They have a robust online site where you can purchase all of their fine wares. Thanks, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Last week, the Fools Errant were hot on the trail of a way to reach the fortress of Glassau to chase down Artanis and stop him from destroying the world. Rowan is fairly certain that, based on some cryptic information from a strange young woman known only as Willow, that there is another star spire beneath the Isle of Glassau in the Ioliquis archipelago. The group has arrived there to find the island occupied by the Ignian Empire. They linked up with Una Murderbeard, proprietor of the Iron Pony Tavern and daughter of Captain Macbeth Murderbeard, and told her that they need to... I don't think that fixed my problem. I think my problem's on this side. I have a slight opening in my green screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Anyway, they told her, we need to get to that star spire to save the world. And she said, great, because I need not for there to be Ignians on my island anymore. And thus they did that arm clasp, and a plan was born. We ended last session with Una Murderbeard pulling a speaking stone from her vest and saying, Father, we've got a plan. And we will begin this session some miles away from there, while on the deck of the Grimm's Folly, Murderbeard, the speaking stone in your breast pocket, chirps, and you hear Una's voice say those words, Father, we've got a plan. What are you doing?
You said we're on the deck of the...
You're on the ship.
Folly?
I guess I can give you a little more context than that, right? You are currently on aboard the Grimm's Folly. The ship is moored in a secluded cove on a small, like, sub-island, just, like, very close to Glassau. You have been posted up in this area for a little bit of time now, working with Una's burgeoning rebellion on the island. I'll give you kind of more backstory as we progress, but for right now, in this exact moment, you're on the ship, you're like in a cove here, and like it's the middle of the afternoon, and like this communication has interrupted like whatever is like going on right now on the Grimm's Folly. So like, what is
okay.
that?
I know what we're doing. Tyxus and Murderbeard are currently standing on the side of the ship. They currently are by one of the cannons, and loaded into the cannon is an Ignian. We are currently in the process of interrogating him about something, so it's sort of like, now you're gonna tell it, and then it's like when your phone goes off during something,
okay,
you're like, hold on, and that's when it goes off. It's like, all right, go, what is it? And it's like, he like holds up like a 1 minute to like the guy in the cannon.
Like Tyxus is using prestidigitation to make his eyes glow, and he's staring at the Ignian right now. He's like, just 1 minute, important call.
Okay. Movor has the like lighter for the cannon, and he's like,
whoa, Movor, take it easy.
As you give the finger, he's like,
take it easy. Not yet, not yet.
He's like,
fine, take not too long. Want to see if this one go further than the other ones.
The guy in the cannon's like, oh, mon dieu! Okay, so you say,
who else from, is there anybody other than Movor that's standing around, crew-wise?
Probably. I mean, you could kind of tell me who you want to have kicking around. Like, anybody you want can sort of be watching this.
I feel like the partisan is just like, just watching intently.
The partisan just like,
gosh, I'm awful with the crew's names. Who was the woman who was she was like our bosun? She like fixed everything and everything like
Anna
that.
Cromwell.
Anna Cromwell. Is she on deck too?
Yeah, she's there.
Okay.
With her budding romance with like.
Yeah, Tyxus will just kind of take one step back towards her and not like look at her, but we did pack the good powder on this one, right? Because if we don't send this one farther than the last one, Movar is going to be really upset.
What accent did she have?
I don't think she really has one.
British. She's an elf, isn't she?
Was she?
I know she was British.
She's a human.
No, Anna is from Austinville, where Rowan's from.
All right, we'll say she doesn't have an accent. She goes, Mr. Thyxus, we only have good powder on this ship.
Yeah, that's the right answer, Anna. That's the
right answer. Honestly, and I wish that we could explain this to Mr. Movor, the distance that the Ignian travels when fired out of the cannon is entirely determined by the aerodynamics of the particular Ignian. And then she's like, and if they would quit flapping their arms so much during takeoff, they'd get better distance.
Good point.
So back
I'll go get some more rope.
back on the speaking stone. Una says, you'll be pleased to know that some acquaintances of yours have made their way to my humble tavern. They have a mighty need to get themselves inside the estate at the top of the rise, and well, it just so happens that that coincides with our mighty need to kick a bunch of bootlicking Ignians off of our goddamned island.
Those individuals don't happen to be a half-orc a mustachioed guy and a mountain. Do they?
That would be a rather apt description. They're also traveling with a lad who seems to have a sort of a thing for pockets. He's got about 18,000 pockets on his coat, and he's got all sorts of doodads in him. And Rowan.
There's like a long pause, and then two, like, loud enough that like Una hears it too. But Murderbeard is shouting to the crew, so there's like a long pause, and then lift the anchor.
From far off, you hear since Lexus was going to get more rope from far off, you hear, "You heard the captain, lift the anchor!"
So I'm gonna go shift scenes, right? We shift scenes back to the upper room in the Iron Pony. The Fool's Errant are here. Rowan, you're here. Una's here. You hear from the stone. You hear, lift the anchor. Then you hear like some indistinct Thyxis noises. You hear like the sound of a cheer. This is all very like tinny coming through the speaking stone. And then you hear the distinct like of a cannon being fired, and the speaking stone cuts out. And Una like turns to the group of the fools, and she says, "Right, so my father's gonna start heading in this direction, and we'll make our preparations here. Like I said, we need till about sundown. That'll make this a little bit easier, and we will benefit from the cover of darkness, I think. The gist of the plan is that I need to hit them all at once. We need to get the Ignians who are holed up in the mansion dislodged and removed, and we need to deal with the ships that they've got parked in the harbor. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. Stepping out of character, man. I'm trying to decide how much exposition about this to have her deliver here, because most of the relevant people for like this part of it are not present. So I kind of think what she does, I think we do this. I think she goes like, okay, so gather around, here's the plan, and then like everybody like huddles, and it goes like, they start whispering, right, and then we cut away, so we don't like, awesome. We don't kind of see their part of it, right?
For the record, Rowan's cool. Just like, because she heard Captain's voice and she distantly heard Lexus's voice, she's like, she's trying to like be calm. Oh my god.
The part of it I think that's like relevant for you, Rowan, is at the end here. She basically goes like, they're like the part that they're gonna undertake, the Mythlindian horse, as we called it last week. With your like proclivity for heavy armor, it makes you ill-suited towards that part of the plan. Una is also not going to be taking part in that part of the plan. So the plan is for Brahm, Alar, Osrius, and a bunch of her people to like go for one part, and then you and her and a couple of other of her people are going to go like link up with Brahm, with Murderbeard and Thyxis and the Grimm's Folly for the portion that is intended to deal with the vessels. What she sets up is that the two of you are essentially headed for like a small secluded jetty that is like on the, I don't know if you have the stream up, you can see where I'm pointing here, but like the main like docks and harbor being, here. The Iron Pony is here-ish. That's where the others are bound. That's the estate, the old rundown estate at the top of the hill. There are currently 3 Ignian warships in port here. 2 of them docked, and one of them that like maintains a position like in the harbor here. She takes you this way to a secluded jetty that's like up here, where you guys get in like a small hidden sloop and set out to sea as like the beginning of like sunset starts to happen. Murderbeard, as she has like contacted you and you lift the anchor, you mean to sail. Essentially, you guys have like a rendezvous point where you are able to like bring the Grimm's Folly and meet like vessels that they send from the island, where like you guys are pretty safely like unseen from any position that the Ignians might have on the island. So what we will then jump to is a couple of hours after this initial contact is made. Una and Rowan in a small vessel, like essentially like you guys reconnect, and there's probably some like overly complicated series of like lantern signals or something that happens to like but Una like scrambles up the rigging first, and like climbs up and hops onto the deck. Rowan, you go after her, and you set foot back on the deck of the Grimm's Folly.
Rowan climbs over, and it's almost like when puppies don't know how to work their overly big paws because she's so excited that she is like tripping over herself to climb the rigging and get on the deck. It's just, there's no grace in this. Like, anytime Rowan's ever been athletic or skilled, she's like, oh yeah, and just...
I think too, Phyxis would probably be at the top as Rowan is coming up to the deck and reach my hand down and say, "Welcome home," and pull her up onto the deck.
Rowan's trying not to cry immediately on seeing Phyxis. I'll climb over and look at Phyxis like he's real, like kind of like almost not shaking him, but like hands on shoulders, like oh my god. And then it's just a giant bear hug that's probably a little too tough for Phyxis, but Rowan is so happy.
The metal.
She loosens it just a little so he can breathe better, but she's really not letting go yet.
It's good to see you.
Holy crap. Okay. Apologies. Where's Movor? I think I need to tackle somebody and I don't want to hurt anybody. And Rowan slowly lets go of Phyxis.
Oh, he's right over there. He's waiting for us to capture another Ignian to shoot out of the cannons.
Do I see Movor first or do I see Captain first?
You tell me. Wait. Roll a d20.
I was getting tackled by Rowan. A 5.
A 5. They're standing like Movor is blocking. He's too big. He's in front of Murderbeard, so like you see him just because he's in the way.
Rowan runs and just launches at Movor, shouting like, "Oh my god, you got bigger!" And like launches at him because he knows she can take it.
Like, yes, Movor, eat much.
And that's probably when I see Captain over his shoulder, and I just freeze.
Talk amongst yourselves. I think my wife is trying to get me to give my dog bananas. I'll be right back.
Okay, have fun. I see Captain over Movor's shoulders, and I just freeze for a moment. Hey,
Welcome aboard.
Movor, I love you, sorry, and shoves him and dives for Captain. And is just another big bear hug to Captain.
Yep. Good to see you too. I do need to breathe though.
No, you don't. You can breathe underwater. This is fine.
I'm not underwater. I'm being crushed to death.
Rowan, let's go. Slowly.
Well,
she's stunned. Rowan's just gonna stand there and look at you guys like for a minute.
Murderbird's beard is even bigger.
I don't know if that came through on the mics, but there's like a sharp a sharp whistle, and you turn around and then you look up, and Tea Kettle is upside down, like hanging off like a beam of the the cross mast. Yeah, you put your arms out, Tea Kettle's just like. And it just like drops. Catch it.
Tea Kettle is also now wearing a fake beard.
Okay, yeah, sure. Is it what color is
But
it?
like very clearly like a string
What color
on a
is the
beak.
what color is the beard?
What color do you think it is?
Is it a red beard?
It's definitely a red beard.
Okay, I didn't know if it was black to match Tea Kettle's like color, or if it's
No,
just like a
Or
definitely
purple
like
red
she
beard.
got a fake murder beard and is wearing it around.
So you like catch Tea Kettle. Tea Kettle has this fake beard, and Tea Kettle goes, "Fixes, if I have to tell you one more damn time."
Rowan's just laughing and kind of like almost spitting with Tea Kettle because she's happy.
I have
she's
to admit,
okay.
at first I hated it, but now I love it. There's twice as much yelling at Thixes.
Twice as much yelling at Fixes.
Lexus just sighs heavily over in the corner. Starts rubbing his temple.
Rowan looks down at the necklace that Torian gave her to keep track of her friends. She goes, "You didn't tell me they were torturing him." And I put the necklace away.
Yeah, it just tells you about being alive on the outside, not on the inside.
Well, then it would never show anything for any of us. Let's be clear. What the? Okay, 10 million questions. Probably don't have time for them. What?
Oh, Una, it's good to see you too. So-
Captain, did you find your brother?
Nope, not yet.
Bitch.
We were in the process of talking to some people about it. They weren't very helpful. Then they had to leave.
Tea
Being a
Kettle
cannon.
makes a like cannon noise.
I look at Thixis.
Well, we think we figured out how to launch them farther. So we did make some progress.
Rowan just stands there for a minute going, "This totally explains everything and everything about me that's changed in all the time I've been with all of them."
It's been a real dudes weekend these last few months.
Oh, that was our fault. I probably shouldn't have let that happen again.
My mattress is now on the floor, and I don't know what to do.
I look at Apora. What is... Do I want to know? Is it safe or not to know?
Apora is like, there is no controlling them. It is better to just sort of humor it and hope for
Welcome
the
to the
best.
Mojo Dojo Casa Boat.
We did spend a rather significant portion of our last haul of plunder on taquitos. It has been a weird few months.
Movar ate most of them.
Yeah.
Momo loves taquitos. They are like tacos, but little. You can eat many of them, and when you hold them in your hands, it makes you feel giant. Oh,
It's been a problem. We're arranging an intervention.
Oh my god. Rowan's just standing there like, I came to like, her head is just like, I came to an island to get basically jettisoned into like a weird plane of existence, and now I am with my friends again. And she's very confused, clearly.
Lexus just puts his hand around your shoulder and says, "Just getting all the feels now, aren't you?" And taps you kind of just back.
You catch Una's eye, and she's like, "Oh, honestly, you get used to the tonal whiplash after a while. It sort of just becomes normal."
I've been traveling with a group who literally calls themselves fools. And somehow, it's about the same as being with all of the ship. And yet, it is completely different, and my heart cannot take all of this right now.
Una says, "Well, we've got a few hours to kill before we've got to make any moves, so I might as well give you the rundown now, and then we can pass the time preparing and doing whatever else shenanigans might need to be gotten up to." She looks to you, Rowan, and she says, "My father and Thixis and the others on the Grimm's Folly already have most of this information, but I'll get you up to speed on the situation on Glassau. You know, as far as when Gareth Blackwell and the other pirates decided to scatter to the winds before the Ignians came in here, figuring that were the best chance for the people what live on the island not to get in any more of a difficulty than they're already going to be in with Ignians taking over. Generally, that all went according to plan. Blackwell and his ilk cleared out all their supplies, trapped up the fortress pretty good to make it difficult for the Ignians to move in, and took off. When the Ignians arrived, they just took over. Weren't no violence, nobody got hurt, at least not at first. It was, as Imperial takeovers go, astoundingly civil. They installed a governor. His name is Celestinario. He's a right prick. They, as they put it, brought law and order and imperial justice to what was previously a lawless bastion for piracy, debauchery, and other moral degeneracy. As you would expect, they began collecting taxes. On top of that, the soldiers generally take what they want from shops, taverns, things like that. They don't particularly feel the need to pay for any of this. And they have otherwise run roughshod over the people what live here, who, as you can imagine, are rather in favour of their personal liberties above all else. So it didn't take quite too long for the population to get a little chafed with the collar of the Ignian Empire around their necks, and things started to get a little unruly. What the governor so delightfully is fond of calling civil unrest. Things escalated from there. The more they tried to exert control, the more it chafed on the people who call this island home. The more they resisted, the tighter the Ignians tried to exert their control. They started bringing people up on charges of piracy, or consorting with pirates, or conspiracy to commit piracy. All of which, of course, bear the sentence of hanging. that's been about the status quo for the past few months. There are currently 3 ships in the harbour, and as we had talked about, I am estimating about 30 Royal Marines holed up currently in the estate, which has been in the process of being converted to the Governor's Mansion. They've been searching the island for something, presumably this thing that you're after, though it seems, as far as I can tell, that they've got no idea that there's anything below the mansion. I certainly have not volunteered the information. Recently, something has been attacking the Ignians, something that is not me or mine. Something that has been stalking them in the jungle, or attacking them in their patrol routes. A monster in the woods by the accounts that we've received of it. That culminated with an attack just last night, early in the morning, around the estate itself, which, from what I understand, rather abruptly ended for no apparent reason, and the attacker seems to have gone up in thin air. That's what got the Ignians on the island, at least, huddled in the Governor's Mansion for now, and the others are huddled on their boats. You can bet your last copper piece that once they come to a conclusion, figure out what they want to do, they are going to blame the easiest target, and they're going to come out of that mansion and come out of their ships, and they're going to exact their justice against the population of Glassau. I intend to deal with that before it can happen. The plan, in short, as I explained to your friends, they'll be handling the mansion. It's our job to deal with those ships. I'm open to suggestions. If you, she looks at you, Murderbeard, if you think there's a better approach, or if you see a better way. My thought was that we approach the island in the night. We send a boarding party to one of the ships and try to stealthily disable its crew and commandeer it. And then, having evened the odds, we use the Grimm's Folly and our captured Ignian vessel to destroy the other 2 in the harbour.
Sounds like a good enough plan to me.
She nods and she says, I've made the arrangements that need to be made on the land. They'll take care of their part. As for the specifics of this, she kind of spreads her hands towards you. She goes, this be our crew. I'll turn over control to you, Father. Select your away party to try and take the enemy ship. You don't have to do it now. By tonight, when we're ready to make our moves, you'll give the orders, and I'll follow along with the rest of your crew. She kind of looks to you, Rowan. She looks at Plexus. She looks at Murderbeard. She looks around the gathered crew of the Grimm's Folly. She's like, any questions about anything? Anything I can clarify or answer? Anything I've missed?
How deep is the harbor?
She says, at the deepest point in the center, probably 50, 60 feet, perhaps.
How about where the ships are docked? How deep is it there?
It's close to the shore. 16, 20 feet, perhaps.
Captain, I can sink one.
I'm sorry.
I can sink one. We just have to make a plan for the other one.
Rowan leans over to Captain. Have you guys been getting Thixus drunk this whole time? What is going on?
Lexus leans in all the time.
Captain!
We're planning a second intervention. No, ship blowing up abilities is news to me.
Oh no, I'm not gonna blow it up. I'm just gonna sink it.
Explanations?
Ship sinking abilities is news to me.
Well, I've been learning a few things. I can put a very large hole in the side of it near the water line and just let the water fill it up. Sink. Boop.
Maybe because I can do that too. And like, pats a cannon next to it.
Oh, but mine just requires like flick of the wrist and a little turn of the orb, and I'm good.
How close do you need to get?
Yeah, give or take about 60 feet.
Probably manageable.
If we go to take the other ship and get you close enough. I mean, if we're on the other ship, you'll be plenty close, I guess.
So the plan is to commandeer one and then take two have to be taken out.
Yep.
So there's 3 ships in total.
But then at that point, they wouldn't have one backup ship, and it'd really be only taking out one if Thixus does sink one. Then it'd be the
Yeah, the
Grimm's
best
Folly
plan
and
is probably to hit the 2 at the same time, so neither one has enough time to react to help the other.
Yeah, then there's only one. Do we get?
We had a special guest for a second.
I think that was just an accidental click somewhere on Funland. I'm all for simultaneous ship boarding and sinking. I don't think there's an if. When Apora is giving us backup to handle the ship that we won't be actively taking over for cover. Give us time to commandeer quietly.
Alright, so we take the one quietly, and then we strike the other 2 simultaneously. Thixus, and a few will go to one, and we'll use the commandeered ship to take the other one.
Sounds like a good enough plan.
We've had worse plans.
Absolutely.
We have a plan, which is more than most of the time.
Alright.
Who do we think should go where? Thixus probably shouldn't go on his own.
No. I think he has to
I
be
prefer not.
the extra hand in the commandeering crew. Because he needs to get close. And if he can do that quietly, he has basically a straight shot.
I think we'll go as one group to commandeer the one ship, and then the 3 of us can handle the one Thixus is going to take down, and the crew can handle firing on the second one.
That is a great plan. I love it.
Rowan looks at Una. Did you want to come and mess some people's lives up?
Oh, was Una you said that too? Says.
Yep.
Well, I think that'd be just fine.
think we can take a whole ship down with just the 4 of us.
I personally think we could take 4 ships down. To be honest.
Who let him get into the whiskey? What the hell, guys? I need to go talk to Grohl. This is a problem. We need to lock up the stores.
Alright, so you kind of got your plan in order here.
Rowan's gonna go talk to Grohl about keeping Thexus out of the liquor.
Okay. You go down to Grohl. He's like peeling something for some reason as you go in there, and he like looks up as if like you come in here every day. Nods where there's like a seat and a second peeler next to him.
Yep.
And
Right just in time. Rowan sits down and peels.
he goes, so you're back?
I think just for a little bit. I have business with our other friends that we made, who are currently on the island planning to ruin Ignian lives, and I'm going to join Captain and Thexus and Una out here to ruin lives. And then I'll have to go again. And then when it's over, and we've settled everything, you can bet your ass I'll be sitting in this chair again.
He says, maybe that'll be true. Maybe it won't.
Do you not trust me anymore, Grohl?
He says, no, I trust you. But people will choose the kind of life that we choose. It's because we follow the winds. For a while, we were all traveling together here, right? And the winds blew in a different direction. You went off to find your fortunes elsewhere. Some of the others, they went into that green place or whatever. For now, Captain Dixis, they're still here. If the winds were to blow you back to these parts, I'll be glad for it. If you're headed elsewhere, I think I'll probably be glad for that too. It'll mean you're where you're supposed to be.
I don't know where that is, Grohl.
Nobody ever does. It's like trying to figure out what direction the wind's gonna blow tomorrow.
If I ended up back here, I'd be happy with my life. I don't know what my life on land would look like when all of this is over, depending on how things look when I'm done doing what I need to there. And even then, if it all goes well, it's a lot of messes to clean up. And I think even if I'm not always here, I'll need to be here once in a while. You guys are my family.
Well, whatever happens, if you do come back here, there'll be plenty of potatoes to peel.
Are we making stew? What are we doing?
I don't know, honestly.
Are you just peeling to
Just
peel?
I just peel. It's therapeutic. Makes me feel better.
Fair. I haven't had much time for peeling potatoes lately.
Alrighty. So I think with that, we'll kind of zoom out and we will kind of see like a high view of the ship as like the sun begins to set, and we will take a quick break and then come back to finish our episode in just a few minutes. If I can figure out how to put mid rolls on, I will. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello. Welcome back. We return after some off-camera consulting. There may have been some refilling of water. There may have been some peeing. You never know. But we return now for the second half of our stream tonight. So, when you guys last left off, the plan sort of was set, and that plan was, as I understand it, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Murderbeard, Thixus, Rowan, and Una are going to be like an away team who is going to go and try and take one of the 3 Ignian vessels that are like at Glassau. And the crew of the Grimm's Folly, under the direction of Apora Dazan, who you're leaving behind, will man the Grimm's Folly, with the intention that when you guys capture one of the ships, if you're able to do so like stealthily without raising an alarm, when you guys capture one of the ships, the Grimm's Folly will come in, and you and your captured ship will then like descend on the remaining 2 ships and attempt to destroy them. You guys know that the like start of you guys kicking things off in the harbor is like the signal for the land-based group, the Fool's Errant, to like start their thing. With the overall, like, the master plan, the overarching plan, basically to, like, hit them from 2 sides, and kind of, like, pincer maneuver, just, like, bash them between both attacks and drive them from the island. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up on stream. If you guys, I don't know, I didn't look at who was or wasn't. So it looks like you guys are not in tabletop sim, so you'll have to...
I had it open, but I hadn't clicked in yet because
Okay.
it would have just gone.
It's, sure. I have it open now, I have it set up. You can use it, you don't have to. You can use the...
on my new computer, so
Not a
I'll
problem.
have to
You
have
can
somebody
just-
else move me and...
You can look on stream. I have like ships set up rather than like necessarily people. Although I probably should have thought of that like your guys' first maneuver was going to require this. Let's see what we got here. What does this give us? A bunch of things that didn't load properly. Ah,
It's freaking out.
it's freaking out. What is this now? There's like a black thing on the map here that I don't know how to get rid of because I don't know how I put it there. Whoa. Alright, let's do this. I gotta get rid of all of the things that didn't load properly again. Wasn't much. This will be a little easier to run with. So this will be ship. So this is basically top to bottom, with like this being the lower deck cargo area, this being like the mid deck. This is the main deck. These parts would be like interiors where there would be like cabins and stuff, and then these are like the stern castle and forecastles. So we'll use that as a ship. So essentially, as you guys, let me go back to this one. As you guys approach, you wait until the cover of nightfall, and you sail towards Glassau. As you guys approach the island. You can see the twinkling of fire lights and torch lights and oil lamps from within windows of buildings. You see the deck lamps on the Ignian ships. As you guys begin to come around the far side of a small jutting of land just off the coast of Glassau, Apora Dizan quietly gives an order across the ship, extinguish the deck lamps. And in unison, the crew moves to all of the deck lamps on the ships, and as one they just turn out the lamps, and the deck of the ship is plunged into blackness. I believe we established, if you guys hadn't achieved it before we last saw the ship, you will say that you have by now. The Grimm's Folly has its black sails. So you are running stealth mode essentially. The ship is very difficult to see in the blackness of the night here, with only the light of the stars and a crescent moon and the dim illumination from the ring of Agiria above. What you can see from the layout of the harbor, there are two ships. They are currently docked. So they are anchored up to the docks at the harbor, and the third ship sits sort of blockade style, out, just outside the harbor. What Pora does is sails the Grimm's Folly on sort of a parallel to where the Ignian ship is, far enough away that you guys sail silently under the cover of darkness, and as you guys get fairly close enough but not close enough to be seen, that is where you guys in your rowboat, they lower you down. Grohl Halfhand comes out to help. I should switch the music. This is inappropriate music for this situation.
This is far too happy.
This is far too happy for the stealth mission that's happening right now. We'll do... How do we feel about... No, we don't like that. It's supposed to be tense music, but I think that's the wrong kind of tension. Sort of Spoopum's tension. That's alright, we'll leave it for now. You guys begin to be lowered to the water. Grohl Halfhand, Movor, several of the other larger members of the Grimm's Folly lower the rowboat very steadily, so that instead of splashing into the water, the rowboat basically just touches into the water, and Una uses a pole to push you away from the ship, and you guys begin to coast in the direction of the Ignian ship, which you can see is several hundred feet off, and is sort of illuminated in the darkness by the cast of its deck lamps. As you guys begin rowing, a light, a light mist, light fog, sort of begins to build up along the surface of the water, as the heat of the day finally subsides as the sun is fully down, which is fortuitous, as it helps conceal your advance. So as you guys are rowing towards the ship, Why don't you, and I will roll for Uda, why don't you guys make stealth checks as a group?
Natural 20. Making 23.
14.
Okay.
13.
Alrighty. Una got a 17.
When Rowan realizes she's clanking, she stops rowing. Shit.
As you do that, Una goes like, we should have thought of this before we... She goes, hang on. She, like, digs into her patch, and she starts pulling out a bunch of, like, rags and stuff. And within a couple of minutes, she stuffs a bunch of rags, like, under the, like, where the pieces of your armor meet, and, like, ties pieces off, and she does a pretty good job of, like, muffling your armor. Alrighty. So, with everybody did decently, and obviously Una did very well, and Murderbeard did very, very well. So you guys managed to approach the Ignian vessel. I should put this question to you. You have options here. I had sort of made the assumption that we were going here, but that doesn't have to be the case. Like, do you guys have a preference of which of these three ships, like, you think you want to go for?
I think we should go for the one that's out in the water, just because the
Yeah.
two that are docked those guys are probably just calmer and like not like less aware.
Okay.
So if we can subtly take this ship, they won't see anything coming and they won't be ready to like hop to as fast. My theory.
Okay. Very good then. So you guys approach the ship. You manage to get the rowboat basically up alongside it. As you approach, you are able to see, as you're like looking from the water as you guys row in, you do see that there are individuals moving about on the deck. It looks like, from what you can see, there are at least 2 guards who are walking like a rotation around the main part of the deck. And go ahead and everybody can make a perception check for me.
Exact same. 14.
12.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Actually, Una got a nat 20. So, with that information, Rowan, you clock, in addition to the 2 on the rotation of the main deck, you clock a lookout who is posted up on the stern castle by like the wheel, and you also clock a lookout. You can see like a little bit of motion in the crow's nest, and you clock a lookout in the crow's nest. Una, with her nat 20, she goes, like, under her breath to you guys, she goes, "The lookout in the crow's nest has bad technique. He's not turning and looking in all directions. He's only looking towards the harbor."
How from where we are to the top of the crow's nest, how high is that? How many feet?
Oh, I gotta do ship math. I mean, probably... You're talking like it's the mass of the ship, so, I mean, I would say 50, 60 feet up, probably.
Okay.
From the deck of the ship, probably. So, I mean, you guys are 10, 15 feet below that in the water right now.
Okay. Okay. I can't get up there that fast then.
Una's like, I probably can.
Rowan takes a minute and looks at Captain. Just goes, your daughter frightens me and amazes me, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Like, this is all said like very quietly, so no one hears us, but she's just like, okay, Una's gonna get up there 60 feet in a second.
I am pretty confident I could get up there and take out the guy at the helm. But I would probably need all of you to wait for me to do that first in order to do that. Can we have like a what do you call it? Like a trigger? When that Ignian hits the water, everybody goes.
That's fine.
Works for me. Captain? Well, Mixus, if you think you can get up and take the one at the wheel.
I think
Una
I can.
says, I don't know what you're planning to do, but I estimate you gotta give me about a 10 count to get up the rigging and onto the mast there and in position to jump on the one in the crow's nest. I'll get there and then I'll wait for your signal to go on to go after him.
Okay, just a warning. I'm not going to look like me.
What are you gonna look like?
I'm gonna look like the last guy we shot out of a cannon.
She's like,
Who's really pissed he got left behind.
she goes, fair enough, I will try my very best not to accidentally stab you when the fight starts proper.
When it all goes down, I won't look like that anymore.
Oh, then you're fine.
Can I, just out of the sake of keeping this as quiet as we can, is there anywhere on the ship that I know, having been on Grimm's Folly and all these other ships we've messed with, where there's like the warning bell? Like if they were to ring that to alert the guys in the harbor.
Certainly, there certainly would be one of those in the crow's nest. And make another perception check.
Not as good. That is a 14.
The 14 is good enough. You spot that there is another like call to stations bell. That has been, it's like suspended off of a post on the main mast, like right at the center of the ship.
Is Discord
Is
dying
Matt
on
freezing
that?
for anyone else?
Yeah, he's
for me.
freezing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, you guys are getting pixely from me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's just you for me.
Yeah, it's just you for me.
Just
Well,
Matt.
yeah, that's because it's my,
Yeah.
it's gotta be my internet.
It's okay now.
It's better now, yeah.
Yeah, it seems to resolve. I don't know what that was.
So hanging like above the center of the ship is the second one.
Yep, so it's at like deck level, like essentially like eye level on the deck, on a hook, a post that is attached to the main mast, the center mast.
Okay.
And here, let me actually. This would be a good time to do this switch. I will bring you guys over to. It's less flashy, but it is more technically accurate to what you guys are trying to visualize. Okay, clear all the broken assets, and boop, okay. So, I will put down on the map here, we'll use these guys. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so one guy is up here. These two guys are kind of in the process of like walking around on the ship here. It's probably smaller than realistically makes sense for this to be, but you work with what you got sometimes. And then this guy is... What do we got? If I have anything like... Here, let's use this. Use this candle, which is definitely not going to stand up. I don't know why I thought that thing doesn't even have a flat bottom. Oh, it stood up. Wild. We'll try and, can we put this guy on top of it? Is that possible? Oh god. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I thought the lighting effect would be cool, but it's just caused chaos. Just delete that. Here, we'll use this. This is my go-to, like, up in the air set piece for tabletop sim, because I can usually do this. Let's lock the boat quick. And away we go! Whee! Okay. That guy's up in the air. And y'all are... Y'all are in a rowboat, like, here.
Makes us will kind of look up at the ship and just sigh.
Well,
I hate climbing.
Have you gotten any better at climbing since I've been gone, Thanks.
I think so.
I look at Captain. Has he been doing the workout I told him to do?
If anything,
Rowan.
he's gotten worse.
Rowan looks disappointed at Thanks.
I tried a couple times. It's just really hard.
Did you ask Movor for help?
Movor's a show-off.
Did you ask Kenna for help?
they're on Naporia. They got
Oh right,
dropped
they're still
off.
on Naporia.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was
Canonically.
gonna say, like, ask the halfling that can probably throw all of us. We'll work on it when I get back to the ship for a longer period of time than one night.
All right, there we are. Everybody's in there, in positions. So Una's going up, and Thyxus is going after this guy, right?
I guess, yeah, whoever's like at the back of the ship, like with the helm,
Yeah, so this realistically, like, this is like, I can actually probably just do this, huh?
Yeah.
And, like, so that's there. And that's here.
Okay.
And let's say that these guys' route does include, like, the front here. So they're going, like, this guy's going like this. Alright, and then this guy's going this way. So they're, like, crossing paths at, like, the front. Or at like, the midpoints, essentially. So we'll put them there for the moment.
Captain, do you want to take them out at the midpoint together, or do you want to take them out on the opposite ends?
Together, probably.
Okay. We'll time our climbing and approach with their pattern.
Oh, he's slipping. He's slipping. Okay. All right. So, sounds like Una, Murderbeard, and Rowan, you guys are going to be straight stealth checks as you try to, like, get onto the boat and in position. I'm not sure what Thixus has planned yet, so I'll let you sort of lead us off with, like, what Thixus does, and then we'll determine.
Thixus is going to, like, climb up as much as he can before he kind of, like, topples over the edge of the ship towards the back. He's going to cast Disguise Self on himself to make himself look like one of the Ignians that we shot out of the cannon from the ship from the beginning of the episode. That had to swim all the way back.
Okay, fair enough.
And is very, very tired. And hopefully when the individual approaches me, that's when I will spring into action.
Okay. Alrighty. So you're going after this guy, right? So what's your plan is to try and, like, scramble up this here?
Yeah, basically, like, climb up the ship as far as I can. Maybe if I have to, like, shift myself over to, like, get into a position where I can kind of climb up more towards the back of the vessel. That'd be ideal, I think.
So let's
get as far away from the other people as I possibly can.
Okay, so let's do this. Make a DC 5 athletics or acrobatics check.
Ooh, boy. Here we go, folks. Will you allow me? On my character sheet, I still have my DM's inspiration check from a long time ago. Can I use that?
Did you not make a 5?
Well, I don't really have a good modifier for any of these.
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna use it and use acrobatics because that's better than my athletics.
As you do that, Una is gonna make her acrobatics and stealth checks, respectively, to try and get herself in position as you get in position. So she gets a 17 acrobatics and I think she's got a +4 in stealth. She's got a +11 in stealth. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
She gets like a 30 in the stealth. So she's fine. So, like, as you kind of like, jump from the rowboat, grab onto, like, some rigging, and start to, like, shimmy your way over. As you move, Una, like, nods Murderbeard to you and Rowan, and she, like, quick as a rabbit, she basically, like, leaps from the ship, like, grabs the netting of the rigging, and just, like, hand over hand, just shimmies straight up, and you see her, like, jump from the rigging and, like, catch the post of the the mast like this in 2 hands, and then she, like, pulls herself up, swings a leg over, and, like, pulls herself into sort of like a straddle position, sitting on top of the mast, which is, about a 5-foot jump onto, like, the base of the crow's nest. So she's, like, in position, and then you see just sort of like a flash of, like, blue hair as she kind of looks and is now watching, waiting for Thixus to make his move.
Okay, before Thixus climbs up too far, he's going to use cantrip shape water to splash a little bit of water on himself.
Okay.
From down below, to at least give the effect that he's dripping
He's
wet.
wet.
And he climbs up. I did roll a 9.
Okay, good.
So,
So, then at this point, so Stykes has gotten into position, which means he's about to like do his thing. So I think Rowan and Murderbeard, as he like begins his like distraction thing, and you guys go to make your move, I think his play will give you advantage on your stealth checks. Which for Rowan, for you, like lets you roll lets you roll normally.
Yep.
Alrighty.
I won't take any chance for that.
So Thyksus, you get into position. You see, like, you kind of look back. You see Murderbeard and Rowan ready to roll. You like can kind of look up and just see the the vague shape of Una like crouched near the crow's nest, and you are disguised and dampened, and you kind of hear the guy on the deck above you. He just sort of tunelessly kind of like humming to himself a little bit.
So at that point, seeing that everybody else is getting into position, I would kind of pull up on the railing and just throw myself over the edge of the railing and slam onto the other side.
Okay.
With the casting of this guy's self looking like this Ignian, all wet from the shape water, and just be sacre bleu! And just doing all this stuff down, like flopping around a little bit and like coughing and pretending like I'm coughing up water and stuff.
Okay.
In the corner trying to get this guy's attention.
Does Thyksus speak Elvish? Does Thyksus understand Ignian?
I do speak Elvish. I don't know if that counts as Ignian.
We've obfuscated it a little bit through the course of the campaign. So like, generally, yeah, we've been saying Elvish counts as Ignian.
Okay. Okay.
So yes, okay, because he runs over and in Ignian he's like, oh my God, what is happening? Who are you? Where do you come from? What did you fall overboard?
It's such a long swim. It's just like start like I'm like frantically like moving my arms, trying to pretend that I'm like super tired and exhausted from swimming from out there.
Okay,
and,
so disguise self. Refresh my memory. Like,
yeah,
does he need like a reason to suspect, like to make that wisdom save, or is it?
It's an intelligence investigation check against my spell save DC.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether or not.
It just says a creature can use an action to inspect your appearance.
Yeah, so I think
so it doesn't
like
really...
I think at this point, like unless he has a reason to like get suspicious and try and like look a little closer at you, I don't see a reason to make him make the roll. Okay. Like right now, you're like you kind of have surprised him enough with this thing that he's not thinking to like look at you too hard. So I'm not gonna make him make a roll to see through the illusion. He just like buys into this for now, and he's like my God, we need to get you out of these clothes. You're going to catch a death. How long did you swim? Where did you come from?
If you will allow it, Matt, this is
Yeah.
what I would like to do next. I can use my cantrip shape water to freeze water.
Okay.
So some of the said water that's on the deck, I would like to freeze it very quickly and then push him onto it.
Okay.
Towards the railing.
So as he's doing that, go ahead. What were those stealth rolls for Rowan and Murderbeard?
21.
Okay.
For Rowan, not bad. 14.
Okay, they got a 7
With all
and
his sputtering.
a 7 and a 2 on their respective insight checks or perception checks. Okay, so you guys get onto the deck successfully. So Thyksus, you're here. Rowan, you can move yourself where you want to go. Murderbeard, you can kind of tell me where Murderbeard's going.
We were gonna wait for the two guys to be like almost at the center point together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this guy is like
To
kind of
jump up.
coming this way. This guy is like coming down the stairs. And who's going where?
I'm going to be able to take whoever is going to be the farther one.
Okay, so like essentially then we'll say like Murderbeard, you get onto the deck and like make your way this way, and you like post up like kind of here so that as this guy comes down he can't see you. And then Rowan, you're kind of like hanging out here, and this guy is basically like, you can either be hanging off the side of the ship, or we can say you're like here and you're like hiding among some like barrels or something if you want to be. But essentially like you're here, and this guy in such a way that like this guy can't see you as he comes down the stairs and is about to walk like right past you. Is essentially what we've established here. So however you want to narrate that whatever Rowan is doing.
Rowan would behind a barrel so that she has both hands free to attack and deal with the guy.
Okay,
So.
and Una is up here still. Let's put her off to the side for now. Okay, so Thyxus, you like freeze the water and you push him. Go ahead and make a strength athletics roll. And he will make a contested strength athletics roll. I will have him make it a disadvantage since I think he's surprised by this.
Okay.
Oh God!
Does the ice help?
I think the ice adds to his disadvantage. He's not gonna get his modifiers. I'm just doing a straight roll.
Okay. I was gifted a luck point in chat.
Okay.
But I think I'm with disadvantage on his roll. I think I'm going to stay there. I rolled a 10.
Okay. He got a 3. So you shove him. So the intention is to like get him to slip on the ice and push him overboard.
And yeah, hit the railing and lose his balance on the ice and then tumble overboard into the water.
Okay. So so that's like the signal, right? You hear this guy go like, whoa! Splash! And he falls in the water. So this guy, splish, goes over the edge. He goes in the water. That essentially gives the signal. So Una is going to make an athletics check. She gets a 19. She jumps into the crow's nest, and I'm going to have her make a dagger attack against the guy in the crow's nest. Okay. Okay. I don't play enough rogues. Does she roll with advantage if he's like unaware of her? Is that how that works? Where's Adam when I need him?
I think
I was gonna say I never do that, so
I think it depends on.
I think
Like,
you have to
type
have a
of
specific ability for it. Yeah, it's like Murderbeard doesn't have that. I think it's if you have a specific ability or feat. Like that might be an assassin thing.
I think this just does the
Assassin, if you hit before like somebody takes
They
their
know
turn,
you're there.
then you
Yeah.
automatically
Okay,
crit.
she's a
on your attack.
swashbuckler, like Murderbeard.
You know, I don't have that, so probably.
Okay, so she does not. Okay, so then she doesn't get the advantage. She actually doesn't hit. She rolled a 4 on her attack, and she has a +8 to hit.
Hold on. Never mind. I don't think you can do anything.
Okay, you guys can make your moves.
Okay. Is going to, as soon as the guy comes by and is probably like passing her to go see what the disguised Thyxus is, what's happening up that way, Rowan's going to like pop up and wrap a hand around his mouth and then just drive Shakai straight through his back.
All right, make an attack roll.
That is a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Okay.
Oh, Adam just said if she's a swashbuckler, she gets advantage because she's engaging him alone. Thank you, Adam.
There it is.
She still misses. Sorry. You got a 6 + 8 on that second one. She still didn't get it.
I was gonna say I looked up the rules for surprise.
Does
and I
she
don't
get
see anything about
advantage? I thought
on
it was.
surprise.
Yeah, no, it's if you're swashbuckler is you can sneak attack if you're alone.
I don't think it.
Oh, it
well,
doesn't
it
give you
says change the
advantage.
outcome. So.
It doesn't matter.
It didn't change
Yeah,
the outcome because I
completely
still didn't manage to hit him. Okay, what was your damage with Shikai?
9.
9.
And then if how's he? Is he okay?
He goes like, but he's grievously wounded. But he is like, as you hold him, you can tell he's still like
Got some
struggling.
Pull it out. Stab again.
Ooh, okay, roll the hit.
That's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
11 points of damage.
All right.
On that
So
one.
you
And if I can just
clamp-
like
Yep, you
throw him
clamp the mouth and 2 quick like you just like
And then just
shank
flip him
this
over.
guy and then heave him over the
into
edge
the water.
Yeah, it's you don't need advantage.
to do. Okay.
Not gives you advantage.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so Murder Beard.
I rolled a 22 to hit. I'm essentially just doing some sort of similar to what Rowan did, just like grabbing this man, trying to.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage for your attack there. And as we just learned, you can sneak attack because he's alone.
So that's 10 points of regular damage,
Okay.
and then I gotta look at what the sneak attack is now. This level since yours leveled up. Extra 4d6.
Someone remind me to play a rogue next time.
They get really boring. Plus another 18 points of damage. They do a lot of damage if they can sneak attack, but they get boring very fast.
So with your height differential, you basically like as this guy comes around and like as soon as the guy up on the stern castle goes like and like starts to fall, he like begins to turn, and you like rush out from behind the mast and like shoulder first. You like hit him in the shoulder. The sword comes up behind the blow. So like the shoulder hits him, the sword comes up, and you run him through. And then like you just like linebacker style, you take the next like 3 steps to the edge and just and he slides off the end of your sword silently. And there is a second later as he hits the water. So let's roll initiative because Una did not manage to get her guy. And we'll just count that as a surprise round.
16 for Rowan.
Okay.
That's a 7 for Thixus.
God, Una gets a 1. What's her initiative modifier? Okay, so she rolls a 1 and she still ends up higher in the initiative than Thixus. Okay, so Una's got
25.
initiative 8. What's that?
25.
God damn, 25. Alright, Murder Beard. And I will roll for... that guy gets a 16, so we'll put him at 15 behind Rowan. And other guy gets a 2. Okay. Alrighty, Murderbeard, you are the first to react. So you quickly spin, assess the situation. You hear the splish of one guy going over the railing back where Thixus was. You hear the splish of a second body hitting the water almost in unison with the guy that you threw over the edge. So these guys are all in the drink. You hear a muffled sort of from above, and you see that you can kind of see the tangle of limbs up above, as it appears Una has like jumped on this guy, but they are struggling. And this has all happened like very quickly. There's been no like nothing more than like one quick shout as the guy that Thixus threw over the edge, a couple of splashes, and like this sort of grunt of surprise as like Una hit this guy, and that's what's happened. You'll be the first to react in the first proper round.
I'm gonna take a shot at that guy then.
Okay, roll to hit.
He's engaged.
Sure is.
16 plus things.
Oh,
Plus
yeah,
7.
for sure.
So that is 11 points of regular damage, which is max damage. And then another 14 points sneak attack damage.
Okay. So, you see, like, Una jumps on this guy. She, like, knocks him off balance with her free hand and then, like, drives down a dagger at him, which he, like, kind of throws an arm up and she cuts the back of his forearm, but it keeps her from, like, driving it into his neck. And then they kind of, like, he, like, kind of grabs and they start to scuffle or whatever, and you, like, from below, you, like, line up your crossbow, and as Una is, like, trying to, like, force this dagger towards him, you sort of, like, catch her eye, like, she's, like, sees you over his shoulder, and she sort of, like, throws her weight in and, like, pushes him back a little so that, like, he's kind of pushed back over the edge, and then you just thunk, and you shoot him, like, right through the back of his head with your crossbow, and he, like, and Una quickly, like, keeps him from crumpling, and, like, Sam Fisher just, like, lets him down, drops him in the crow's nest, and, like, pokes a head out a second afterwards. It's like, Rowan, that brings us to you. Make a perception check.
That is only going to be a 13 for Rowan's perception.
Plenty enough. You hear these sort of, like, splishing and flailing. Like, the guy that Thykes is hooked over the side of the boat is not dead. He's just in the water. So right now he's kind of, like, sputtering off the side of the ship.
I'm going to do. What am I gonna do? I don't have any range, thanks. Rowan will move up next to Thixus. I am at a betting. Oh, good, I didn't fall. Usually I fall when I move my token.
Careful, don't step on the ice.
Right. Rowan just goes, we're in the trop. Never mind. She's like, we're in the tropics, but there's ice. I am confused. But Thixus is here. Makes sense. And we'll just look down at the guy to see if he starts climbing. And we'll, like, back up. But no range. So she's just gonna kind of stand guard next to Thixus and be like, I'll keep an eye out if you want to take the wheel.
Alrighty. That's going to bring us to Una. I don't think she does anything with her turn from there because she's too far from anything going. Thixus, that brings us to you. You're able to kind of look over as well. You see that guy is sputtering. He, like, I'm going to make a roll for him to see how he's handling having been hooked in the water. Or he doesn't roll that well. Okay, so I think what happens is on your turn, you see he's, like, disoriented as he just got, like, pitched ass over tea kettle off the side of the ship into the water. But he's starting to try and, like, regain his bearings and get up, and he kind of, like, brings his head up above the, like, the roll of the water, and you see him, like, he kind of, like, draws in a breath to let out a shout, but, like, the water kind of, like, laps up and, like, goes in his mouth and, like, prevents him from shouting for a second. So you have, like, a split second to do something.
Okay. I guess I will peek my head over the edge and point down at him and say, "Homme le mer! Homme le mer!" Which is man overboard in French.
Okay.
And then I will cast fire bolts towards him, but I will transmute it to be a big chunk of ice.
Okay. Roll the hit.
Falling from above.
Like an iceberging this man.
It's a 16 to hit.
16 hits. Roll damage.
16 hits. Alright. That will do 19 points of cold damage.
So he like comes back up and he's like, and then like like a 17-inch icicle just goes like into his clavicle, and he's like, and he sinks below the water. Okay, so you call that out, and then you icicle this guy. So he's cooked, but you definitely
and I look at Roman and say, "Oops."
You hear
missed
like
you.
motion from the cabins here and like below deck as your cry of like man overboard has roused the crew. So you guys probably have a second or two here to like let's say you have like a round of combat here before like more guys start showing up.
I want to do exactly what we just did and like post up near where like the doors are going to open or where they're going to come up and hide, and I will just wherever that is and just start attacking from a semi-hidden space.
Okay.
Murderbeard will also do that, but
Are
he's
there
going to post up on the.
Are there doors on this like
Yes.
lower
So
deck?
like here
These openings
would
yeah.
be doors. Here would be doors. And probably I think probably they're not on this map here, but let's say like if on this side, like this is the opening to the cabins in here, like this would be the stairs down. And then same thing here. So like these here and here would be like sets of stairs that lead below decks.
Murderbeard is going to go on the opposite side of Rowan, but as he passes her, he is going to hand her one end of a rope.
Okay.
Rowan takes the rope and we will be ready to trip some peoples.
Alrighty. So they do that. Thixis, what are you doing?
Is there like a broom on the deck for like swabbing the deck?
Sure.
If I have enough time, I would like to run. Oh, first I'm gonna dismiss my disguise so Una doesn't shoot me.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm gonna grab the broom and I'm gonna see if there's a handle I can like put it through to like lock the door.
Interesting. Okay. Sure.
If it's possible.
Make a perception check.
Whichever one he doesn't, whichever door he locks, I guess Murderbeard and I would go to the other.
Based on how quickly you're trying to do this,
Yeah.
it probably makes sense for you guys to go over here.
Okay.
Because I think it's a cool idea. So like I want to
Yeah.
have Thixis do that, and I think it makes like
So it's only a 6 though, so don't get your hopes up.
okay with a 6.
It's a-
I mean with a
it's a-
6 you find
does
a
he-
broom. Like
Does he
that's
get
fine.
advantage for like at least for having
This-
been on an Ignian ship and on a ship for so long?
So
But,
the
like,
perception check was just to find a broom,
Oh,
right?
I
So like that was another one where I'm like DC 5, right? Like with a 6 you find, thank Christ. You have a moment of panic as you're like, "Oh my god, they don't have a broom on this ship." And then you find a broom. You manage to get a broom. And I don't think I'm gonna make you roll anything to like execute this plan of like you like grab this broom, you like maybe you slide down the railing like a cool guy or something, and you're able to run over here, and you run over and you like slam the broom through the like handles or whatever on the door. and like a half second later, there is like a wham as like somebody hits it from the inside, and you're like, what? What? As
Of all the times
like,
not to have an immovable rod.
I know, right?
Damn it.
As inside the what you presume probably to be like the captain's quarters and the officers' quarters and stuff like this, somebody who is about to rush out here just like slams into a now barred door. So Rowan and Murderbeard make stealth checks.
$16.
Also a 16.
Okay. That's a 14 on the perception check, so they do not see you guys as 4 additional sailors come, like, running up the stairs here, repeating the call of, like, man overboard, or whatever it was in French that Michael yelled. And I assume you guys then go, like, yoink. Okay. I'll have the 4 of them make dex saves. Okay. So here's what we've done. I've made 4 rolls. Why not, Russell, you and Brittany, why don't you guys both roll a d20 to like simulate like an advantage roll? So we'll take whichever one of you rolls higher, we'll take that. And that roll will be the DC that these guys have to beat.
Just
not
a straight D20?
You just do a straight D20.
18 for me.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Hers was better.
Okay.
Right.
So with an 18, the 4 guys
Wait,
that come...
you know what?
Oh, go on.
I, with my level up, I took a lucky feat.
Your rope tripping expert feat.
Yes.
No, I took lucky, so I'm gonna re-roll and see what happens, just to see.
Just make it even harder for them.
It's gonna be hard to roll higher than an 18, but no, 15.
Okay.
If I had rolled a nat 20, it would have been worth it.
With an 18, so the DC for not being tripped is an 18 based on that roll. The 4 guys that came running up, they rolled a 5, an 11, a 10, and a 17. So 4 guys come up, and you like, boing! All 4 of them, one after the other, fall over this rope, and like hit the deck. I think probably immediately, like as they hit, like the next thing that you hear like 4 thumps of hitting the deck, and then you hear the ka-chunk of a crossbow, and with a 16. Plus. How much sneak attack is it gonna do?
Depends on the level.
46.
Jesus.
She does 20 points of damage. She shoots one of the guys instantaneously dead as they like fall to the ground out of the like the opening back there. The other 3 begin to scramble loose. The like you hear like the physis of like whoever's behind that door like trying to rattle. And it is confusion. Like they do not know what is going on right now. They heard like man overboard, some other people yelled man overboard. Now like there's this tangle of guys creating like a jam up at this one stairwell. I think at this point, Physis, you hear the boots of like several sailors coming up the stairs that you are like you just blocked this door. But there's a staircase, like there's a stairwell here. Like there are guys you hear like coming up this set of stairs here now.
Okay, so do I think that they moved from that door, or is there still someone?
No,
trying
there's
to
still
bust it
somebody
open?
behind that door, like rattling, like what's going on here?
I know it's. I know it's not my turn yet, but can I like?
I'm getting
hold
real
an action?
loosey-goosey with, like, being an initiative.
can
I'm
I
just kind of
hold
letting you
an
guys
action?
freeform this.
To like have my foot ready, and I'm gonna like listen, and I'm gonna time it out to when I think he's gonna hit the door next, and then kick the broom out of it, so he hits the door and like falls out
Sure.
like rapping.
Okay. So you're basically like you're standing against a piece of wall here that like on if your back is to it, on your right side is the door that you're currently barring. On your left side is like the set of steps that go below decks.
Okay.
You have your guy. The guy's like banging. Whoever's in there is like banging against the door, trying to get out. You hear
so
footfalls.
I can make him fall out and then fall down the stairs towards the guys that are coming. Is that what you're saying? Or is it
Not necessarily.
is it
So,
different
like,
directions?
do
here,
him
let
to
me
do
turn.
that.
I'd have
let
to
me
like
turn
swing
this.
him around a little bit.
Yeah. So like, if you see on
Got
stream,
it.
right, you're here.
Okay,
right?
I think I get what you mean now.
This
It's just
is
hard
a
for me to
doorway
see.
that you've
Yeah.
barred, right? So a guy is currently
Yeah.
trying to like bust out of there.
Okay.
There's
yeah,
a
okay.
staircase here that people are coming up. So you have like somebody here and somebody here who are like trying to come running up onto the deck this way.
Okay.
I mean, you know, theoretically, if you have some means to try and like swing him around and hoik him down the stairs, you could. But your plan, essentially, what you want to do is you're just gonna wait and like.
I'm gonna try to time it out to
Okay.
like see them slamming, and then I'm gonna kick the broom out when I think they're like getting frustrated.
Make an insight check.
Okay. $19.
Okay. With a 19, I think this is what happens. You listen, you're listening at the door. Whoever's in there is rattling like, "What is happening? Open this door!" And then you kind of hear him in there, like curse, like, "Ah!" And he like you hear him like pace away from the door as if he's like looking for something to like wham it with, and then like you kind of hear him coming back, and you're like, okay, he's coming back. He's gonna try and like hit the door again, and you hear the footfalls coming up from your other side, coming up the stairs, and you go like, okay, and you like grab your broom, you time it, and what you do is you go, huh!
Swing
and so
the
you
broom.
pull the broom out, right, and so this door gets unblocked, and then the broom goes this way. Simultaneously, somebody from behind the doors goes like bashes through the doors, comes tumbling out a heavy a heavy bust of some elf, goes like toppling out of his hands as he like rolls to the floor, and as the broom comes this way, the stick end of the broom, you like catch the guy coming up the stairs like right in the neck with it. And he's just like doesn't seem to like do him any like serious harm, but it is enough to like stagger him, and he goes like as he puts both of his hands to his throat. So you are now standing.
Thyxus would probably be startled because he totally didn't mean to do that, but it's like, oh, it works.
So Thyxus, you are here. This guy is prone. I don't know how to flick him. And then there are... I'm out of goons. There are 3 guys here. There were 4, but one of them's a corpse right now, so I'm not going to put him on there. Okay. Alright, so I think you guys still have a moment here where like the guys that are on the deck currently are still disoriented enough that like you can take another round of actions before they know what is happening.
We'll swing that one with Shakai. That's a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Okay. 12 points of damage.
Okay, so you just stab a guy dead as he's like on the deck in a heap.
Can I stab at the other guy with my, since I have 2 actions?
Yeah, sure.
Uh, 16. Is that a hit?
16 just hits.
Okay. 11 points of damage to the next guy.
That is just enough.
Oh shit.
Slay him.
Rowan
Alrighty.
does this to Captain and then looks over at Thix, like, oh no!
So Murderbeard, there's still one guy here. As you in a heap here, are you doing anything about him, or oh, you hear the distinctive of the crossbow being reloaded from above you. So you've got one guy here, kind of like at your feet that you just tripped, and then there's like two guys over here by Thixus. What do you want to do?
I am going to do two things.
Ooh. Okay.
I am going to summon over by Thixus my beard tentacle.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not a thing I need to put a mini for. Okay.
No. So I can't remember if I can summon and attack with it on the same turn. Tentacle of the Deep.
I think
For the sake of not wasting time.
Yeah, I think you can.
It's probably seems like it works like a spiritual weapon, where like you can appear and
Yeah.
and hit with it.
Okay. I don't think. I think. I think it's just a straight attack roll. It doesn't have any bonuses. That's a 17.
That hits.
It only does 1d8 though. Max damage. 8 points of damage.
8 points to which two?
To one, just one of the dudes over by Thixus.
Do you want the guy that came out of the doors and dropped a marble bust of an elf, or do you want the guy that Thixus just stabbed in the Adam's apple with a broom handle?
We'll do the stabbed guy.
Okay.
Just so he can be bludgeoned with all sorts of things tonight.
So you, if I remember correctly, you sort of maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's beard attack.
Yeah.
You swing your beard and one of the braided locks of your beard goes swings out and then rises up and goes whoosh and whips across the intervening space and basically hits that guy in the same spot in the neck that the broom did, so it hits him again
so
does not
yes,
kill him.
That was a bonus.
He appears to still be alive.
That was a bonus action, and I'm going to attack the guy who's now lying in front of me. Right. Natural 20.
Oh, shit. You don't even need to roll damage. He's for sure dead.
Okay.
You're going to roll enough D6's worth of sneak attack damage that, even if you rolled ones on all of them, he would be dead.
Nice.
Okay, then Una will... I think Una will take a shot at the tentacle guy to see if she can finish him off. God, Una, come on! She rolled a nat 1. A crossbow bolt buries itself in the planks at his feet. And you hear Una, you hear from the crow's nest, you hear Una go God damn it tonight! What is going on here? Okay. So right now you've killed, this guy's dead. You've killed 8 guys in the span of 30 seconds. You hear confusion from below decks. There are more people below decks, but this guy is still standing in the stairs and keeps getting pelted with stuff. Now a crossbow has landed, so he's stopped and is kind of blocking the stairs and is trying to regain his breath. You hear people down on your guys' side, Rowan and Murderbeard. What the hell did I just... Where's Murderbeard's token? Murderbeard's token is gone.
Phased out of existence.
It's a
Did it meld into
mystery.
something, or
Is it on the
go
floor
underneath
down
them?
here?
Did it go underneath one of those wall or the floors that you put on top of
Truly,
the
I
other
don't
ship?
know. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. I guess we won't worry about it for the second. But anyway, these guys, like, downstairs here, like, there is just, like, 4 guys went up, they all fell on the floor, and then a bunch of, like, swords and crossbow bolts and stuff just, like, murdered them dead, so there's now a pile of corpses here. So the guys that are below decks are waiting for a second. The confusion seems to have subsided, and now they seem to understand, like, that they're under attack. So they, like, naval guys stop, like, running pell-mell up onto the deck. And you hear, like, the telltale signs of, like, muttering and confusion and, like, rapidly moving around below decks. They're trying to, like, prepare themselves. They can definitely tell that, like, the ship has been boarded and, like, hostile forces in control of the main deck. As for these guys here, they're out here. This guy, like, gets back to his feet. He has, like, a big swelling welt right on the top of his head where he, like, fell and, like, whacked his head into the head of the marble bust of an elf that he was trying to use to smash the door. But he's, like, getting to his feet. He's in, like, a nightshirt, essentially, and, like, no shoes. Maybe he's in one of those, like... we'll add this to the canon. One of the... They like, Ignians, canonically now, they wear those, like, big, long, like...
Night dresses. With
Yeah, like a night
cap.
dress, like...
Like Ebenezer Scrooge.
yeah, like an Ebenezer Scrooge nightgown, like...
Dress nightgown, yeah.
So this elf is, like, kind of, like, scrambling to his feet here, and he, like, he looks around and sees the group of you, and, he, like, you know, kind of contorts his face, and he, like, opens his mouth to say something, and another crossbow bolt, like, hits the deck, like, at his foot, and he jumps, and he, like, looks up, to Una, who's, like, then just, like, reloads the crossbow again. And she just goes like, "Just wanted to make my presence known. Carry on." And this elf goes like, he, like, kind of looks around and he, like, puts his hands up and he goes, "Pirates."
Chat gave Una add your proficiency bonus for her next roll.
I'll use it to make an intimidation roll there, because that's probably the last roll she's going to make for the night. So she can add her proficiency bonus, which is a 3, plus 3. So she rolls a 16, plus her intimidation of 2, so 17, 18. So a 21 total. So she uses that, that'll be her intimidation roll. And this guy then goes like, and I think he probably he, like, raises his voice a little. Clearly you get the sense he's, like, talking to the guys below the deck. And he says, "Men, we have been boarded. Surrender." And you hear, like, a stillness settle over the lower part of the ship.
Can I insight check him to see if it's, like, actually seems like a command that he would give, or is this, like, a code
Sure.
to be like, get ready to, like, blow up the ship, essentially?
Sure.
While Rowan's doing that, Thixus is holding the broom handle towards the guy on the steps.
This is my favorite. 19.
You get the sense that he is, like, earnest, like, he's
Okay.
not happy, but he's not,
Yeah.
like,
Of course not. But
yeah,
he just walked on the deck and 8 of his friends are gone. Or
yeah, I mean, yeah, you very much get the sense that, like, he has seen, like, this fight is already over, and he's like, he's being pragmatic, essentially. He's just like, I'm not getting killed, and I'm not throwing more people at whoever you like. He's like, He doesn't know how many more of you there might be. Like any of this, he's just like he surrenders.
I look at Captain to decide how he wants to handle the surrender, but Rowan's keeping an eye out for anyone to come up the other stairs by us, and if they do come up, it's just like a sword to like get them to like line up essentially. Like over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just basically to let them surrender.
Yeah, I mean, I
corral
think
them
for the
into,
most
a
part,
space.
like once he's like, we're surrendering, like then you guys can tell me what you want to do, like what you want to do with everybody.
Gag them, tie them up, throw them below decks.
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably have a hold on this ship too, like
Oh, yeah.
all the other ships, so they all just.
I'd do you one
Please,
better.
Captain.
This ship has a proper brig. There's a jail cell you can throw all these dudes in.
Yeah, I guess that's what we would jail cell all of them.
Okay.
And I would probably ask Una's help to help make sure that they have nothing on them, so they can send a message like we take all jewelry, we take all scroll, we take literally everything off. Like we don't
Make sure nobody has any keys.
no keys, no nothing, like no way to communicate with the other ships, like literally like short of them being stripped naked, they have
Okay.
nothing on them to help them communicate to the other ships.
Make a roll here. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So, you guys begin doing that. They surrender. You kind of like bring everybody up. Everybody up on deck. Conduct a search below deck to make sure nobody's hiding. You don't find anybody hiding out. And then you begin to disarm them, take your jewelry, all this stuff. Of the four of you, Murderbeard, height-wise, notwithstanding, Una seems to be the is the kind of the smallest. And, she's a little bit shorter than Thysis. She's, very slender. She's an elf. She's not wearing armor or anything like that. One of the Ignian sailors, as you guys are in the process of searching them, taking anything from them, binding them, and throwing them in the jail cell, one of them gets the idea to try it essentially. As she's patting him down, he lunges at her and tries to grab her and take her weapon from her.
I will let Una handle her own shit, but I'm right there for a round.
So I'm gonna make opposed checks here. Well, he rolls in that one. She gets an 11. So he grabs onto her, and then he as she reaches up to grab at his arms, he quickly reaches down, he pulls her dagger from her belt, and then as he turns it to try and stab her with it, she very quickly punches him on the inside of his arm, causing him to drop the dagger, which she then from the punch, she then goes like this, catches it, turns it this way, and stabs him in the chest. And he goes and she just pushes him onto the floor. And she turns and she looks at the other ones, and in decent Ignian she goes and holds up the dagger. She goes and mine's the little one. And then she points at you with this. You have your sword halfway out. She's like, nobody.
Blowing.
She's like, nobody
As she
try
does
any
that,
more shit.
As she does that, as she's turning, Murderbeard's
Finger gun
spiritual
point.
pact, flintlock
arms
is
glowing.
disappearing.
The gun,
Yeah,
gun that goes out.
It was already there, and it's going away now.
Yeah, Rowan's resheathing Shikai. She's like, yeah, this is fine.
Anyone else have any funny ideas? And they all boop. You lock everybody up. So As you guys lock up the last of this crew and begin to head topside, Una looks over the group of you, and she pulls out a bundle of something that is wrapped pretty tightly and has a wick on it, and then from her pack she pulls out a long metallic tube, and she crams this thing into the end of the tube, and she goes, "All right, well, that's phase 1 a success. Let's go blow us up some ships and let the lads on the land have their fun." And then she, pointing away from, over the starboard side of the ship, away from where the other 2 ships are, she shoots, she lights this thing and shoots essentially a flare. She shoots it straight out sideways from the ship, so that the flame of it can't be seen. The ship blocks it from port, from being seen by port. And then she just takes the tube and just flings it over her shoulder into the water. And the Grimm's Folly has been signaled to begin its approach. And that is the end of our session tonight. So hey,
Very nice.
Party. Well, thank you to our sponsors as always. Thank you, Michael, to you for tagging along.
Absolutely.
As
Thank you.
Y'all can see at home, we are down pretty much everybody from the rest the original cast, the regular cast. We had some previous engagements. We had some extremely last minute cancellations, and we managed to pull one out after all. It was touch and go there for a minute on whether we had anything we could put together.
It was a lot of fun, Matt. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good because we get to sort of see a little bit of some of our other elements, making a little bit of a cameo return as the Fools Errant proper finish their journey towards the end of our campaign here. As I have been reminding everybody, we are going to be off next week. I'm going to be out of town, and then I believe the week after that we should be back. So make sure, even though we're not going to be here next week, make sure to tune into all of Proficiency Bonus's other stuff on many other days of the week, and check us out on YouTube, go to the subscribe to here on Twitch, look at the back catalog, do all the things you know what to do. I don't need to tell you. And other than that, we'll catch you next time. Good night, everybody.